Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of the Daily Run, and today we're playing as Azazel. And before I go any further, I would like to say that this video is not about Azazel. It's not even about the Daily Run, and it's not even about Isaac itself. It's about something much bigger than that. It's about existence. It's about reality. It's about life and the meaning behind it. It's about what constitutes the very nature of our society and builds upon us as individuals, and this is getting a little bit dramatic and maybe a little bit too preachy for as much as I like it, generally speaking. But really what this video is all about is my selfish desire to keep posting videos, to keep expressing myself and putting it out to public so everyone can judge me. Is that bad? Maybe to a certain extent, but at the same time, maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad. I'm not really sure, but I know one thing. I really enjoy it, and I always planned on getting back to it, and I hope that I made this obvious when I made the last video like 9 months ago, when I said that this is going to be like a short hiatus, short at least in relative terms of like how old the universe is. 9 months is nothing, right? So in those terms, it's a relatively short hiatus, but I always kind of planned on returning because I know this is what I really enjoy, and I really enjoy, I would say, the general interaction that you get with people. And when someone says, look, you know, this what you said has actually changed my mind or maybe taught me something, I feel like some of those things are the most rewarding things you can possibly hope for, at least for me personally. Obviously, everyone has a different set of rules or goals or maybe the things that inspire them in life, but this is definitely one of those things which I would say inspire me the most, and this is something I kind of want to keep doing, and I just never really tried to abandon it, and I don't really know why I would. But I think that certain things were a little bit more important in the last 9 months of my life, so I kind of focus on them a little bit more. But now I'm ready to come back, ready to kind of go at it and keep on fighting for the betterment of humanity, and again, I'm getting a little bit dramatic. But instead of just saying how I was or maybe how I am, I want to ask you, how have you been? In 9 months, obviously, a lot of things change, and I feel like this interaction is really what strives us, but I also care about you as human beings to a certain extent. I wouldn't say that I'll come to your wedding or anything like that, because I feel like that's gonna be a little bit far-fetched. You know, weddings are pretty private, but to a certain extent, I care about you because you're fellow humans. You've been generally nice to me in the past, and I see no reason for me not to be nice to you. And maybe that's a little bit distancy and maybe a little bit preachy again, but you know, I care about you, and I would like to know how you've been in the past 9 months of your life. So what am I planning to do with the channel, at least where I'm planning to go in the future? And I feel like daily runs of Isaac will still be there, but I don't think I'm gonna make them every single day, because making these videos every day, I would say, takes a certain toll on me, and at the same time, I think Isaac dailies just aren't all that interesting anymore. I feel like everything that there is to be discovered has been discovered, so a lot of like the strategies and the general minutia is just kind of repeating the same thing over and over again. I feel like I'm gonna make them when I have the need to talk about something, or maybe if there's gonna be a particularly interesting one, then I might make a video or two and just kind of talk about it, but I don't expect them to keep coming every single day. Now, if you have suggestions for any other game which has a similar daily system, or maybe just another game which you feel like you could watch or maybe tolerate daily to a certain extent, I'm very open to that. I have a bunch of games in my Steam library that I've bought due to Steam sales, which again might not be the bestest of things, but it is something I enjoy, and I feel like if you enjoy something, you should keep doing it, or at least until it leads to bankruptcy and you abandoning your family and kind of leaving everything astray. So if you have any suggestions for any other games, I'm all ears. I'm very open to it. One of the games I've been kind of peeking my eye on and I've been really enjoying is Slate Aspire. So if you feel like Slate Aspire is going to be something that's up your alley, just leave me a little comment, basically say, yeah, Slate Aspire is something I really like. I'm not going to say I'm really good at it because I haven't played that much of it, but I generally enjoy card games, and I feel like the strategy that is kind of accompanying in those is really interesting, and as opposed to something that's an online game, I feel like in a single player game there's a lot more room for experimentation and error, and just, I would say, a lot more room for Zane, so you can do a lot more silly things and not really get punished for it because it's not as inherently competitive. And besides maybe some of these daily videos that I've been mentioning, I'm still gonna stick to some Isaac content. I have a few ideas that I want to explore upon. in terms of like Isaac Sciencey or maybe short tips and trick series, because I feel like the game is still relatively popular and there are a lot of things that you can utilize to maybe improve your game or maybe just learn a few breaking techniques, and I would like maybe to explore some of that a bit further. Now, those are not going to have a set schedule, because I feel like having a set schedule on things like this is not going to be a good thing, because if I have to force myself to make a video once every 2 weeks, for example, then at a certain point I'm going to run out of ideas, and then it's just going to be forced content. I don't really want that. I have 2 ideas I have in my head, and I would expect them to come like in the next month or so. But beyond that, unless I get some great ideas or maybe get some great suggestions, I don't think I'm going to be focusing on that too much. Another series I would say is going to make a comeback is Dark Souls 3. I really want to finish that game. I think I only have the final boss of the main game, and then I have the DLCs. That's going to be the usual upload time, like 3 videos per week. This is what felt right in the past. I'm gonna kind of keep doing that. But before all of that, first of all, I need to buy a new hard drive, because the one I have right now is filled to the brim with my old videos and my old content, and you can imagine that they do take up quite a bit of space, and I just need to free that. And before someone asks, why don't you just delete them? Well, the problem is I'm not a heartless monster, right? And I would like to keep some of those videos because they represent hard work to me, at least some videos do. And they represent what I would say memories, and I want to keep those memories at least in some form. But the second reason is also I just want to have, I would say, a backup if, for example, something happens to YouTube, which I think is entirely possible. I just want to have those videos stored somewhere and not just rely on the cloud and Google to actually store them for me. So I feel like not deleting them is definitely the wisest choice, because I do genuinely care about them and I don't want to see them go away, at least not anytime soon. So yeah. Basically, when I get my new hard drive, you can expect the videos to start coming back, and I do imagine I'll be able to keep a consistent upload schedule until something extremely changes, but I don't think it will, because I basically have very little other obligations at this point in time, which again might be telling more of me than I would necessarily like. But then again, it's the holidays, or at least it's free time, and I don't imagine anything can be as daunting as actually studying for a degree. Like, I know a lot of people say in the world, just wait until you get a job, you'll see just what really being tired and exhausted means. But at the same time, I feel like not many things in life can be much harder than going through your university. So if you feel like you've had a hard time going to your university and someone is telling you, oh, you're having it easy because you're still young or whatever, don't listen to them. That might be true to a certain extent, at least for some other jobs, but if you feel like you're having a hard time right now, I feel like that's gonna be a pretty good indication that you are indeed having a hard time. I'm not saying this to complain, I'm just saying this to state it as it is, because it can get a little bit, I would say, gatekeepy if someone is like, oh, well, you think you have it hard, I have it harder because I work in the coal mines. And that can be completely fair and I would say legit, but at the same time, I don't think this is the attitude we should really strive towards. This was a tangent that was unrelated to everything, but really what I care about at this point is, first of all, how you've been in the past 9 months, and second of all, if you have any good suggestions for me or games to check out, which I would love to do as well. And hopefully you'll kind of embark on this journey, or at least continue it with me for several months, or maybe hopefully even years to come. So with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I hope to see you next time.